What is up, Hive Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to look at a really unique breakdown of weight loss and how this person lost 32 pounds and 10 inches off their waist in this glow up series that I've just come to realize is a thing that a lot of people are taking part in. So I thought it was just a one-off thing with the YouTuber that I spoke about a few weeks back, but it appears that a lot of people are part of this kind of glow up community. And I want to definitely dive into this one because it's probably by far the most detailed video I've ever seen in this space in terms of weight loss. It is very specific, and we're going to talk about those little specific things that they talk about to get a complete understanding of their journey. And even there were some things that just aren't scientifically true. So I'm going to go ahead and break that down in this video. Stay tuned. Guys, quickly before we start, don't want to bog you down, but if you do want to buy the jump rope, it's only $16.50. You can click on the top right hand corner of this video or down in the description box below. It has an aluminum handle, ergonomic design, and swivel design, so you can't go wrong with the Fledge Fitness jump rope. And of course, as always guys, thank you so much for your support. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the video. I've seen other people kind of talk about this video or these video series, or the series of the glow up series for Alivia D'Andrea, and they say things like, oh well, you know, she has the skin issue, that's because of things that she's eating. I'm not entirely sure that you could assert that from watching her video, considering the fact that she was like 16 when she had those acne issues, and now that she's much older, you can see that it's completely cleared up. It could easily have been simply adolescence, that transition, going through that adolescent stage where you can break out, your skin can easily start to break out. That happens to a lot of people, so I don't chalk that up to because she's eating bad and that's the case. Some people eat bad and that doesn't happen to them. So, you know, it's very difficult to assert that simply from watching the video, but I've seen people make, you know, that response. Now let's talk about her journey, and let's talk about what happened and what she did specifically, because she told you exactly what she did. She didn't even just talk about that she changed her mindset or whatever. She told you exactly what she did. Now the video, I think it's episode 2 in the series, the glow up series for her, and it is incredibly long. Just giving you a heads up, it's 43 minutes, but I will link it down below because even though it's long, it's incredibly engaging and it's edited magnificently, and you could just tell there's like a breadth of encyclopedic video archive that she's just kept and put together over the years, so you really get this incredible story arc about her weight loss and her struggle. Now, to me, like, I can't make a definitive statement, but from watching it, it definitely appeared that she had major psychological issues with food. And I mean, that could also even be an understatement. She was having nightmares about eating things that she liked, and being attacked by family members because she was eating these things. That she had a very deep, like, she was really being controlled by her desire to lose weight. And she tried so many different things to lose weight, but none of that stuff worked because she was kind of crash dieting and under eating and just saying, well, you know what, I'll just eat whatever, a super low calorie and I'll be good. And of course, you know that that's not going to work because of your body just needs more calories to be in an optimal level. You can actually under eat so much so you're eating away at your overall lean tissue, which then doesn't allow you to burn as much calories when you are in rest. So I'm going to skip over the whole mental thing and the psychological thing because that's something that, you know, I've been talking about from the other videos. We kind of get that. We get that understanding. You know, you have to change your mindset and try to find something that you can do for the rest of your life. But we're going to talk about specific things that she talked about in her videos, and she had her coach Steve, and no, you know, offense to him, a lot of what they said were very positive and things that you can apply, but there were some things that were just scientifically not, you know, not in line with the data that we currently have. And I get it. It's not me trying to be a know-it-all. It's just that I've been literally studying the scientific evidence that we currently have on all of these different fitness and weight loss biological data that we have, all the meta-analysis, all the different pieces of literature that we have out there. So I have an understanding of what's out there. And I could always refresh myself by going back into different studies and looking at the studies that we currently have and looking at the meta-analysis just to reconfirm where we are scientifically with any given fitness situation. So what he was talking about was insulin, for example. He talked about insulin. When your insulin is up, you can't lose weight, you can't burn fat. That is true. Insulin being up does block fat from being burned. Now, that doesn't mean that you will always have your insulin up. So for people that say, well, if somebody does an insulin thing and they take a lot of insulin, then why do they burn fat? The thing is that insulin goes up and down, up and down. So whenever you're in moments of not eating, your insulin is going to be down and there's going to be fat burning. Whenever you're in moments of eating, your insulin is going to be up. Insulin is basically a storing hormone, so when it goes up, it tries to block fat from coming out. And that is just the science of that hormone, insulin. But do not trick yourself in any way, shape, or form to think that insulin is the thing that you have to focus on primarily. Your calorie balance will always determine how much you burn and how much you lose. Because even if your insulin is going up and down, or if you don't have insulin shooting or anything, or you're doing intermittent fasting, if you don't give your body anything to burn, it just won't burn anything. Your net balance at the end of the day won't be losing any body fat. Because even if you did intermittent fasting, but then you overate, you will end up storing more. You will end up storing it all back and then some, because of the fact that when it was all said and done, your calorie balance was a net positive energy balance. You had extra calories than your body needed, therefore it stored it. So it doesn't matter that your insulin was down and you did intermittent fasting if you overeat. So I just want people to understand that. That's why calories is incredibly important. Yes, insulin control makes you a little bit more efficient at burning body fat because you don't have insulin rising for such a long period of time. So this made me believe that they did some sort of intermittent fasting tactic, but they did not say the word intermittent fasting in the entire video, which makes me wonder exactly what did they do. It looks like they did time restricted feeding. I'm trying to get clues from what they were saying, and it appears that he said that you have to time your eating. If this is the case, from the studies that we have, normally you are more effective when you are eating earlier in the day rather than later. So they're probably focusing on eating earlier and not later, which means by default, they've created an intermittent fasting system, which is probably, maybe, I don't know for sure, 8 hours of eating, 16 hours of fasting. This is just me trying to get some circumstantial evidence to piece that together and come up with possibly what kind of system they were doing. But then he also talks about something like isolating weight resistance training, which I 100% agree on. You have to create, build muscle tissue, because muscle tissue is what is the primary driver for your metabolic rate. It will assist you in burning more calories when you're at rest during the day, basically. Without your actual physical conscious input, your body will be burning more calories. So I 100% agree with that. But then he went into, well, let's try to be symmetrical and isolate and this and that. I don't think that isolating workouts are more effective than compound movements. I believe that based off of the evidence that we have, the scientific evidence that we have, you can build more muscle tissue and much faster and more symmetrical, because these workouts are basically encompassing many different muscle groups. When you apply a system that actually does multiple muscle groups, the more muscle groups, the better, which is why the deadlift is actually considered the most effective workout, because of its compound movements and how many muscle fibers it actually triggers. So in that portion, I don't think that necessarily did anything special. Her isolating and doing different workouts and stuff. You can target those muscle groups while doing compound movements. So you can't really sculpt yourself that way, especially if you don't have a lot of muscle already on you. That sculpting process is normally done when you are a bodybuilder, someone who carries a lot of muscle tissue on you. Then you can start to kind of target little, spots. But even that is not super effective as compared to compound movements. He also talked about the body set point. Now let's talk about the body set point. Please understand that the body set point, it is not a hard line fact. The body set point is a theory. We don't know for sure that your body wants to be in a specific space in terms of weight. We don't know that for sure, but we can grab a lot of kind of, circumstantial evidence to say that there may be a body set point because people normally stay at one specific weight. If you're overweight, you would kind of not, it's harder for you to gain any more weight. You don't really gain any more weight, or you don't really lose any more weight. You're always bouncing back to that kind of whatever weight that is. Like if it's 250 pounds, you might get to 265 at one point, but then you'll be at 255, and then you might start trying to do a weight loss thing and you get a 247, and then you go back to 251, and then you're always kind of hovering over that 250 number. So that's where the body set point theory comes into place, and what his pushback is to hold whatever weight loss that you have for as long as you can, so that can become your new set point. And I think that there's validity to that, only because you can get yourself comfortable in the habit habitually of what it takes to be in that body weight or whatever that is. So you can actually get yourself to that weight simply from your actions, and having this, kind of these actions be repeated for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It makes it easier. So you got to think about it like this. Your habits are formed over time and and are strengthened the longer you do it. So if you're overweight for 5, 6 years, 7 years, your 2 months of losing weight is competing with 7 years of habit that you're so used to, your body's so used to doing. So if you start doing 1 year and you manage to hold on, and 2 years and you manage to hold on, you can quickly start to turn that trajectory into this new direction now, because there've been so many days of you doing something different that got you to the place that you wanted to get to. Therefore, you're getting away from what got you to the overweight that you didn't want to be. And then he talks about not taking sugar, which this kind of falls in line with the insulin situation. But the main reason you don't want to really eat so much, simple carbohydrates or high sugar foods is not so much about the food itself in terms of it, stumping your insulin or anything like that, but more so the fact that they're very low in satiety, and they're very high in calories. So you can get a lot of calories, but feel like you didn't really eat much, which can cause you to continue to eat. Plus, they're so highly palatable, so they taste very good, that it makes it even easier. So now all of these things are compounding on top of each other. They don't feel like you ate anything. They are not satiating at all. However, they carry a lot of calories for that volume, and they're highly palatable. So all of those things are fighting against you, which can easily make you addicted to eating things that are sugary. But it isn't so much about the insulin bouncing up and down based off of that food that you're eating. You need to understand that there are no bad and good foods. You should be able to eat the things that you want to eat. You need to be able to understand what it is that you're eating and what it can do to you. But once you do that, then you can break through a little bit better by just eating the things that you like and controlling for calorie intake, and knowing that that's not going to fill you up, that you can, if you eat this much, that's how much you're giving up in terms of your caloric budget for the day. I'm giving up 500 calories for this honey bun thing. Am I willing to do that? You just have to be aware of that. And another thing that they talked about is not feeling bad. Just like I did on just like I said in my video about cheat meals and stuff like that. The best thing to do the next day is just continue doing what you were doing and don't worry about it, because that was just one day. A lot of people think that one day, because they'll eat and then they'll feel so guilty and feel so bad about it. they'll immediately get on the scale, and the scale, you just ate a bunch of carbohydrates, all of these things. Carbohydrates hold a lot of water. Water is what fluctuates that scale number more than anything. You're gonna see this incredibly bloated number on that scale, and you're gonna be like, you know what, forget it. Especially if it goes up like 7 pounds and you just lost 10 pounds, you're gonna be like, forget it. I'm done. I gained all my body fat back. People think these things, even though it's impossible to gain all of that body fat back. 10 pounds worth of body fat in one meal, in one day. People actually believe that. And that's the reason why people fall off the train. But if you just go back to what you were doing, your weight gain is at a 1 month deficit, and because you ate something one day, that didn't revert you back, and all of those days were for nothing. No, that's not how it works. Get back to what you were doing the next day, and that's it. Don't think about it. Don't think that it was bad, it was good, it was just a cheat day, it was just a day that you ate freely, and now you're gonna go back and eat more controlled and understand exactly what you're eating. So I 100% agree with those points. Getting sleep, I agree with that because of leptin. Not so much about what Steve was saying there, but because of leptin. That's the main reason, because leptin is what tells your mind or tells your brain that you are full. And if you don't get enough sleep, that reduces, so it takes longer for your body to tell you that you're full. So you might actually overeat, and then that's when you get that feeling where out of nowhere, you start feeling a lot of pain because you're super full because of that. Because you weren't able to, because there was a delay in terms of your body telling you, your mind telling you that you're full. And there's so many other things in there, but I can't dive into all of it because it's just gonna make this video incredibly long. But if you wanna go ahead and check it out for yourself, you can go down in the, watch the video. You can watch the video down below. I'll put it in the description. Very good video. There were some things there that I felt that needed to be kind of explained a little bit differently based off of the scientific data that we have, and hopefully that helps you guys. If you guys have seen that video and you just want to understand what's going on there and what's probably the best route, that's basically what this is. But remember, you still got to do the diet that works for you. You still have to do something that you can keep doing. And the longer you keep doing that thing, the further you go away from the habit that you had previously, and the more you start building a new habit that you can actually stick to. Hopefully this video has helped you guys. And of course, as always, I want to thank my patrons for my Patreon. I'm going to go ahead and put their names right